The scent of antiseptic burns my nostrils as I grip the cold metal railing of the hospital bed. My husband's hand lies limp in mine, his skin ashen against the stark white sheets. The rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor counts down moments I can't get back. "Mrs. Chen?" The doctor's voice seems to come from miles away. "We need your decision now." I stare at the clipboard she's extending toward me. The consent form for organ donation. My signature would mean acknowledging what I've been denying for the past 12 hours. Lin will never wake up again. My name is Mei Chen. I'm 34 years old, and I'm being asked to let my husband die so that others might live. He always said he wanted to be a donor, I whisper, my voice cracking. But there's something you don't know. The doctor waits, her eyes softening with practiced sympathy. I'm pregnant, I say, the words barely audible. 8 weeks. He doesn't yen now yet. I was waiting for the right moment. My hand instinctively moves to my stomach. Our child will never know their father. And now I must decide if strangers deserve the gift of his heart, his lungs, his kidneys, arts of him that should have been ours to keep. "Mrs. Chen, I understand this is impossible," the doctor says gently. "But we're running out of time." The pen feels impossibly heavy in my hand. Just yesterday morning, Lin kissed me goodbye at our apartment door. "I'll pick up dinner on my way home," he promised, adjusting his bicycle helmet. "Thai or Indian?" "Surprise me," I said, already thinking about the pregnancy test hidden in my desk drawer at work, the one I'd taken in the office bathroom 3 days ago. I'd been planning to tell him over the weekend, maybe with a special dinner or a tiny pair of baby shoes wrapped in a box. I never imagined that call would come instead. He won telling me Lin had been hit by a delivery truck that ran a red light. By the time I reached the hospital, he was already in surgery. Hours later, the neurosurgeon emerged with the words that shattered my world. Catastrophic brain injury. No meaningful recovery possible. Brainstem function failing. They kept him on life support overnight, but the tests this morning confirmed what they'd suspected. Lin was gone. Only machines kept his body functioning. "He's a perfect candidate for donation," the transplant coordinator explained. "He could save up to 8 lives. I nodded mechanically, remembering how Lin had specifically mentioned wanting to be an organ donor when we renewed our driver's licenses last year. "It's the ultimate recycling," he joked. "Why let good parts go to waste?" But that was before our child existed. Before I had to consider what it would mean to let strangers claim pieces of the father my baby would never know. Now, staring at his peaceful face, I noticed the small scar above his eyebrow from when he fell climbing a tree as a child. The slight crookedness of his nose from a basketball injury in college. The tiny mole near his ear that I used to kiss each night. All the physical details that made him uniquely Lin. "Can I have a moment alone with him?" I ask. When the doctor leaves, I lean close to his ear. "We're having a baby," I whisper. "I wish you could have known. I wish." My voice breaks, and I press my forehead against his. I don't know how to say goodbye. His body is warm, his chest still rising and falling with the ventilator's rhythm. It would be so easy to pretend he might still wake up, to delay the inevitable. But Lin wouldn't want that. I think about what he'd say if he could see me now. He'd probably make some terrible joke about being dead serious about donation. He'd remind me that pragmatism was always his way. And then I realize his isn't about keeping parts of him. His heart isn't him. His lungs aren't him. The essence of who Lin was is kindness, his humor, his love hose are the things I'll carry forward. Those are what I'll share with our child. When the doctor returns, I sign the forms with steady hands. He would want this, I say, and for the first time since receiving that terrible call, I feel certain of something. 3 months later, I sit in my obstetrician's office, listening to the strong, rapid heartbeat of our baby girl. The sound fills the room, insistent and alive. "She's got a strong heart," the doctor comments. "Like her father," I reply. That evening, I open the letter that arrived yesterday, the anonymous thank you note from the recipient of Lin's heart. Protocol prevents them from sharing identifying details, but they wrote about waking up each morning grateful for another day, about watching their grandchildren play, about a second chance they never expected. I place my hand on my growing belly, feeling the flutter of movement within. "Your dad is still out there," I whisper. Parts of him are still helping people, still loving the world in his way. I am Mei Chen. I'm 34 years old and carrying new life inside me. I've learned that letting go doesn't mean losing everything. Sometimes it means transforming loss into something beautiful, a continuation rather than an ending. And in this unexpected way, Lin will meet our daughter after all.